Okay, let's move on from there. So when you go to your first contest, you're probably going to see people, going out to fly in pairs,
Hmm.
right? You're going to have one guy who's going to be flying the plane, and you're going to be having someone beside him with a stopwatch, a clipboard, or something. So what happens is at a contest, there's going to be a guy who's flying, and then you're going to have a caller. So that second person is called a caller or a helper, and essentially their role is to help you time and to help you call air. And by calling air, what that really means is just telling you where's good air, where it's bad, what other planes are doing. Now, Gavin, you've been flying events for a very long time. And what are some of the things that you look for when you want someone to call for you?
Well, that's a long question. We could spend a whole show on just the timer.
We're running out of
Timer.
time as it is.
Right. And what I look for is there's a couple things. You can look at it a lot of different ways. In some ways it sounds good, some ways it sounds bad, but I always try to pick somebody that knows my capabilities. And so for me to have a novice pilot go out with me, it's great for the novice pilot because he's going to get to go out with a really good pilot and he's going to see what I'm doing. But it's also, he's not going to be able to give me much help because his abilities are not at the same level as mine. So there's going to be things that I'm going to require that he's not even going to know about. And so the other thing is personalities work really well too. There's some guys that you just really click with and they know you, you know them. So they time really well for you and you time really well for them. What I look for in a timer is I look for someone that's going to keep me calm. I get fairly excited on the field at times. So I have timers that I know this, this guy standing next to me, he's not going to let me screw up. He's got my back no matter what. So I look for those kind of people. But as a new pilot, I would try to get the best pilot on the field to time for me if you click with him. Now, if he's just a jerk, then he's not going to help you. But if you can get a pro to walk out there with you, you're going to learn a lot more every round than somebody who's at your equal skill level. You know what I'm saying? If you can get, someone who's pretty seasoned and knows what's going on, he's going to help you succeed far more than if you just took, let's say somebody's wife out there just to click the stopwatch. That's not going to be any help to you at all. Mm-hmm. But a seasoned pro going out with you, you're going to learn a lot really quickly. And so that's what I would look for being a new pilot. I would try to get the best timer I could each time I went out and just ask. And sometimes you'll walk up to a pilot that's tired and they're just like, oh man, could you find someone else? They're not being disrespectful. They're just tired because they might have been out 5 or 6 or 7 rounds straight in a row and they need to sit down too. And so as you get better, you'll notice that you get asked to time a lot more. And sometimes you have to say no. So don't take offense to that. Just say, okay, I'll get you next time. And they will. They'll get you next time. But they might just be tired. So that's what I look for. But how about in Poway 2016?
I know where this is going.
I remember timing. Wow. I remember timing for you. And let's just start it out. Thomas is in the fly-offs and I am not. So that's painful enough. So Thomas asked me to time for him for the fly-offs, which is really an honor. I mean, it's an honor to be asked to time for someone in the fly-offs. So, right. So Thomas is flying. He's way out over the mountains in Poway, if you've ever been there. It's a neat field, very dynamic. And we start walking. And the grass is mowed out to a certain place to where the weeds are higher. And so we walk out to the edge of the grass and Thomas is flying. It's a long round and pretty soon Thomas is coming back and I start counting him down saying, 30 seconds left and 20 and 19. And we start walking. And right about, I think it was about 5 seconds when we realized we're 50 feet out of bounds. And that was my job.
I don't think we ever realized we were out of bounds.
Until you caught the plane? Yeah.
Until we caught the plane.
Yeah, until we caught the plane. And someone yelled, you're out of bounds. Yeah, we thought the edge of the grass wasn't. And so as a timer, that was my job to make sure that you knew where the out of bounds, because you're looking up at your plane. You don't need to be looking down constantly. You need to have an awareness of where the field boundaries are. But I totally blew it for you in the fly-offs in
Well,
power.
surprisingly, you're not the worst timer I've ever had. And
That's
we'll
hard to
have this.
imagine.
We'll have that guest on maybe next episode or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think we both know who we're talking about.
NW. But so that's a timer. And there's so many. I think the timing aspect of it should go to another. I think that should go to another whole, because that could be a whole episode all in itself.
Yeah,
timing.
There's a lot of minute details in being a good caller that it's definitely going to take over the 30 minutes. And
Right.
I think we're well over 30 minutes for our first episode. We're going to get a little bit better in controlling time for future episodes, but it is what it is.
Just edit this whole face out, and just have like one of those blurred, like I'm from the government or something, just blur my face out and you just barely hear my voice. That would be perfect. But just to kind of recap, I think as a new pilot going to a contest, try not to be intimidated. Try to ask a lot of questions, even if you think they might be stupid. They're not stupid.
We've all been there.
Yeah, every one of us. And we know what you're going through. We definitely know what you're going through. And the other thing I say, as you go out and you start to fly in a contest, take your time. Don't rush, because rushing leads to disasters. And it only takes one slip up of a launch or one thing, and your plane that you bought is now ruined. So take your time, ask a lot of questions, listen, watch, ask to be timed by really good pilots. And everybody wants new pilots to succeed so that we can compete against them, later on.
All right, Gavin. So it's been awesome chatting with you. I'm really happy to see contests and events popping back up around the world. We've gone quite a bit over time, so let's call it a wrap. Big thank you for joining us on our very first episode of Camber Up.
I had a great time. I can't believe it's been we've been talking for a while now, but it's amazing. You start rambling on and it goes as quick as it does.
I'm sure you're going to be on our channel again to chat again very soon. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.